rain-fed, and it depends on the inconsistent rainfall during the southwest monsoon. Given that 60% of the state's population is sustained by agriculture-related activities, the focus on watershed development activities is essential. Started in 2013 and 14, Karnataka Watershed Development Project 2, locally called as Sajala 3, was implemented by Watershed Development Department and the Department of Horticulture. This program aims to demonstrate effective watershed management techniques through science-based approaches and to strengthen institution and capacities. It is being carried out in 11 districts of Bidar, Chamarajanagar, Chikmagalur, Davangere, Gadag, Kalaburgi, Koppal, Raichur, Tumkur, Vijayapura, and Yadgiri. A study was conducted on the economic impact of Sajala 3 watershed project in the northeastern Karnataka. The primary data was collected from Kalaburgi and Raichur districts. The impact of Sajala project indicated that the maximum area was under perennial crops followed by Rabi and Kharif crops. There was also a significant increase in the livestock population, which was mainly due to the sufficient availability of food and fodder in the watershed area. This in turn increased the availability of income of the farmers to the extent of 5 to 10%. On the other hand, there are a host of startups who have leveraged technology to beat this crisis of water we are facing right now. A company, we got, is using its proprietary devices to cut down water demand by more than 50%. Acom Eco Solution offers waterless urinals, natural cleaners, and sewage care products. Nimble Vision provides IoT devices that give real-time status updates on the overhead water tank to the user's phone. To conclude, the world is running down one of its most precious natural resource and running up an unsustainable ecological debt that will be inherited by the future generations. The real question is this the future we want to create? Is this the kind of legacy we want to leave behind? Having backup plans is a natural solution to human beings. Many have deluded themselves into believing that Mars can be our next planet after Earth is destroyed and becomes uninhabitable. However, that is not a substitute. Plan B for us does not exist. Mars will never be like Earth. It is time to take control of the situation because without blue, there is no green. Thank you.
Okay, Asta, have you completed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I completed.
Huh? What happened? All the resources. This has to be on. Should not have asked. Hello? Yes. You're logged in from that credential only. Yes. Why the mic is not working here? Hello? Yeah, let's move to the next presentation by Manu Gopal.
Hello.
Yeah, Manu Gopal, you can start.
Hello. I'm audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Continue.
Okay. Thank you, sir. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿಷಯ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾದದ್ದು. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯಿಂದನೇ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಾವು ದೇವರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯಾರು ಕಂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನ ದೇವರ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವಿವತ್ತು ಆರಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿನೇ ದೇವರನ್ನು ನಂಬ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿನ ಉಳಿಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೇನು ಲಾಭ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನೈತಿಕ ತತ್ವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣಾ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ಅಳಿವಿನಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಜಾತಿಗಳ ಪ್ರಭೇದಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ಮರುಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಜೈವಿಕ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ರಕ್ಷಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮೌಲ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆಗೆ ಆಧಾರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಯತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಿಸರ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾವಾಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ಪರಿಸರ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾವಾಭಿಪ್ರಾಯದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತೊಂದಿನ ದಿನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾನವನು ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನದಾಗಿ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿ ನಗರೀಕರಣದತ್ತ ಮುಖ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾನವ ಸಂಕಲ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾಶ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಭವವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೇನು ಸಮೀಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಭಾವಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇದೀಗ ತಾನೇ ಬಂದಂತಹ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು COVID-19 ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕರೋನಾ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಾಮಾರಿಯು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ವಿಕೋಪಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಡುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವನು ಕಾಡುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನು ನಗರೀಕರಣ ಮುಖ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂತಹ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕಾದಂತಹ ಗಾಳಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಹಾರ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನಿತರೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಸಿಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇನ್ನಿತರೆ ಲಾಭದಾಯಕ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಸರಿಸಮಾನವಾಗಿ ದೊರಕಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಐತಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಸರ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಪರಿಸರ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅದರ ಗುರುತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಾಧಾರಿತ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಚಳುವಳಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಪರಿಸರದ ಚಳುವಳಿ. ಈ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳು ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಸುಧಾರಿಸಲು ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಪುರಾವೆಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಳಿ ಇವೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನದಾಗಿ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಳಿಕ ನಾವು ಅದ್ರ ಕರೆಗೆ ಒತ್ತು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. 2018ರಲ್ಲಿ 15% ಭೂಮಿ ಮತ್ತು 7.3% ಸಾಗರಗಳನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಪರಿಸರವಾದಿಗಳು 2030ರ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಒಂದು 16ರಿಂದ 30% ನಾವು ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನು ತರಬೇಕು, 7ರಿಂದ 15% ನಾವು ಸಾಗರವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ IPCC ವರದಿಯ ಭೂಮಿ ಸಿಹಿ ನೀರನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ 50% ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಸಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸಜೀವ ಸಿಹಿ ನೀರಿನ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಂರಕ್ಷಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಅವರು ಪಣ ತೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು. ಇದರ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣಾ ಗುರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಸಂರಕ್ಷಿಸುವುದು, ಅರಣ್ಯ ನಾಶವನ್ನು ತಡೆಗಟ್ಟುವುದು, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಸವಕಳಿಯಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಸಾವಯವ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವುದು, ಜಾತಿಗಳ ಅಳಿವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುವುದು, ಮಿತಿಮೀರಿದ ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ಹವಾಮಾನ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು ತಗ್ಗಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸೇರಿವೆ. ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ಹವಾಮಾನ ವೈಪರೀತ್ಯದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಮುಖ ಮಾಡೋದತ್ತ ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಹವಾಮಾನವನ್ನು, ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಗಾಳಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದರತ್ತ ಮುಖ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಒಳಿತು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಏಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಕಾರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಈ ಶಾಲೆಗಳು ಮಾನವ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾನವನ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಈಗ ಸಂತತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅವುಗಳ ಪರಿಣಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ, ಮಾನವನ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಮತ್ತು ಜಾಗತಿಕ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಮಾನವ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸುವಂತೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 2022ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಯ್ದೆಯನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸೆಂಟಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೇಸು ಋಷಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಡೆಕಪಾಡ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಕಠಿಣ ಚರ್ಮಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಸೆಫೋಲೋಪಾಡ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಸಂವೇದನಾಶೀಲತೆಯನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಜೀವಿಗಳಿಂದ ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಸಂವೇದನಾಶೀಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಿಸುವ ಅಥವಾ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣಾ ನೀತಿ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ದಾಖಲೆಗಳ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರಿಸರ ಸ್ತ್ರೀವಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಸಹಾನುಭೂತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ 1864ರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಕುರಿತು 2 ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಅಮೆರಿಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೊಮ್ಯಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ಯುಟಿಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಈ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣಾ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಡಿಪಾಯವನ್ನ ಹೆನ್ರಿ ಡೇವಿಡ್ ಥೇರೋ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಲ್ಡನ್ ಅವರು ಮರಣೋತ್ತರವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಘೋಷಿಸುವುದು, ಕೋಟೆ ಆಗಿದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ವೈಭವತೆಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸುವುದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜಾರ್ಜ್ ಪರ್ಕಿಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಹೊರತಂಬಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಿ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅನ್ಮಾರ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಉಪಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯನು ಎಷ್ಟು ತನ್ನ ಜೀವನಾಂಶವನ್ನು ತಡೆಯುವ ಭೂಮಿಯ ದೇಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸುವ ಅವಲೋಕನವನ್ನು ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸುಲಭದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ವಿಕೋಪ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ವಿನಾಶ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮರಗಳನ್ನ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, ನಗರೀಕರಣದತ್ತ ಮುಖ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅವನಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಬಯಕೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವನು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿನ ಅವನ ತಲ್ಲಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊತಾನೆ. ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬದುಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಹಕಾರ ಪಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟದ ಮೌಲ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಬಳಕೆಯ ಪದದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ, ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆಯು ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಈ ಕಾಡುಗಳು, ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು, ಈ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಿತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಿತ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಪರಿಸರ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡದ, ಖಾಲಿಯಾಗದ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಂದಿಸದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವ ಒಂದು ತತ್ವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಈ ಪರಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬಯಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಬಳಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸದಲ್ಲವಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆಯ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ, ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪರಿಸರ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು, ಈ ಜೈವಿಕ ಭೂಗೋಳ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನು, ಮಾನವ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನು, ಆರ್ಥಿಕತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮಾಜಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ತತ್ವಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಅನ್ವಯಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಎಂಬ ಪದವು ಸ್ವತಃ ಅನುವಂಶಿಕ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಚಳುವಳಿಯ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆಯನ್ನು ಪರಿಸರ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸೀಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಸೀಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಈ ಸೀಡ್ ಬಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಈ ಮಳೆ ಬರುವಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಈ ಕಾಡು ಮೇಡುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗಾಗಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ಗಿಡ ನೆಟ್ಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಬೀಜಗಳು ಹಾಕಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಯಂನಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಂತ ಆಲೋಚನೆ, ಸ್ವಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ಕಾರನು ಕೂಡ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜನೆ ಕೈಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೀಡ್ ಬಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಬೀಜ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಈ ಹೆಲಿಕಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹೋಗಿ ಆ ಬೀಜಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಮಳೆಗಾಲದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಮಳೆ ಬರುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಹೆಲಿಕಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಾಡು ಮೇಡುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಲಿಕಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಪಸರಿಸುವುದು ಕಾಡುಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಬೀಜಗಳು ಸಸಿಗಳಾಗಿ, ಗಿಡಗಳಾಗಿ, ಮರಗಳಾಗಿ, ಕಾಡಾಗಿ ಅದು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಲಂಬಿತರಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಗಾಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಾರೆ, ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕ ಗಾಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಗಾಳಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೀರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಹಾರ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೂಡ ಅತ್ಯವಶ್ಯಕ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಊಹಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಜೀವನ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಓಕೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
Okay, thank you, Managopal. Now we'll move to Pragya Paramita.
Good morning, everyone. I am Pragya Paramita, and I am going to talk about the topic forest fragmentation. What is forest fragmentation? Forest fragmentation we can define as the breaking of contiguous and large forest areas into the small patches into the small patches. The main cause of this forest fragmentation is causing by the humans only. We can say that it was mainly causing by the humans who are living inside the reserve forest area and around the forest area. The main reason is that monoculture plantation inside the forest area, cashew plantation, acacia plantation, rubber, for which they are cutting down the trees and they are planting the trees. And then the building that are present inside the forest areas, and the government and the projects like building the roads and like mining areas which are affecting the patches of the which are affecting the forest areas. Uh, um, in results, we can see that increase in the temperatures, and it is affecting the natural habitation of the wildlife, for which the wildlife started to coming out of the forest area and started to do the crop destruction, uh, and it is affecting only humans. It is affecting humans only. So it is really a uh, high time to uh, high time to conserve the forest area without without destroying it. And not only the people are cutting down the trees to make their agricultural land, and for which it is affecting the forest also. And the people are doing people are spending their holiday like camping in the forest area, and for which and they are doing the campfire, for which it can be cause of forest fire, which is uh, destroying the forest areas. So uh, people need to understand the importance of the forest areas and started to conserve the forest area. Thank you.
Pragya, is it over?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's move on to our next participant. Anagya S. Kumar. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Anaga?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Start.
A pleasant morning to all. I, Anaka S. Kumar, final year LLB student at Government Law College, Thrissur, is here to express my views on the topic natural conservation. The natural world is an incredible wonder that inspires us at all. It underpins our economy, our society, and above all, our own very existence. Our forests, rivers, oceans, and soils provide us with the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the water we irrigate. We also rely on them on our health, prosperity, and happiness. These natural assets are often called the nature's capital. These benefits are also hugely important to economy, from farming and forestry to leisure and tourism. But nature is free and we often take it for granted and overexploit it. We clear forests, overfish our oceans, pollute rivers, and build over wetlands without taking account of the impact this will have. All this led to the situation which created our need to conserve nature. Conservation is essential for the progress of humanity. But natural conservation is like the two faces of a day. It has a lighter positive side as well as a darker negative side. The pros of nature conservation are that you allow the flora, fauna, and the biodiversity to thrive. All life till now has been possible because of the interaction between millions of species and their impact on each other and the environment. Conservation, in a way, helps not only to save species from destruction, but preserve the environment we ourselves live in. The cons that we face are that we have limited resources. Also, it can be hard to choose where to focus our efforts. We may spend millions of money to save the greater otters or whales while we're destroying the rodents or the bacteria which are helpful to us in many processes and cycles. Conservation also includes making parts of natural habitat unstable to businesses and individuals. Preservation requires cooperations and inconvenience on all our parts with no exact guarantee it will work. It takes money and, more importantly, time. In spite of all this, the main question is that what we can do. The solution for this is the conservation are within us. In order to see them, we should take urgent action across every level of the society. These include joining for small initiatives like environmental organization, participating in social, government, non-government, school or community programs and projects, participating in Go Green and tree planting activities, garbage picking and recycling initiatives, getting involved in environmental protests and campaigns, limiting the use of plastics, walking or cycling for short distances instead of riding fuel vehicles, and so on. Doing these small initiatives can definitely cause great impacts. We should realize that we have a moral responsibility towards our environment and our planet. If you work together as one, our micro efforts will have macro effect on our environment, and our living being on earth depends on how we handle our environment. By making sustainability a way of life, let's create a nature where it needs no protection. It indeed is capable of surviving all the planets, all the organizations it has. As the future of tomorrow, let's help the former generation in shaping our nature. Each of our voices counts and matters. Let's stand together to conserve the nature for our coming generation. We are just the handlers of this environment and not the owners. By reminding you this, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Anaga. So we'll move to the next presentation by Chintan Patel.
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you are
Yes.
audible.
You are audible.
Oh, okay. So, very good morning to all. My name is Chintan Patel and I am pursuing my final year BTech from IIT Bombay. So, as we are here under the umbrella of LiFE, that is Lifestyle for Environment. It is a mission launched by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi at COP26 held in Glasgow. Okay, so mission is to reduce the impact of greenhouse gases and slow down the process of climate change by leading to sustainable and healthy life. So it was estimated that by bringing small changes in our current daily lifestyle, we can able to reduce almost 20% of the global carbon emissions. And this data is stated in the report launched by Niti Aayog. So I will be presenting my arguments in favor of this idea, and I have selected the topic of food for this conversation. So reason was very simple, that none of us can imagine a day in our life without food. It has been observed that if a person is under a deep mental stress, he craves for food. If a person is happy, he celebrates by throwing a handsome parties with his friends. And yeah, this all of us has experienced. So moreover, food covers all the various themes which has been launched under the umbrella of life, that is energy, water, mobility, waste management, plastic, etc. And I will be touching upon each aspect going through this presentation. So the moment we thought of food, we broadly classify them as a vegetarian diet or non-vegetarian diet. Yeah, as we have dual nature of particle or wave, certainly we can't able to escape the duality in food also. For sustainability, non-vegetarian diet is not an option at all. Let me explain. It is evident that a hectare of land used to produce wheat is far more efficient than it is used to produce meat. So this is backed by the study done by the Guardian. It states that wheat uses about 500 to 4,000 liters per kg of produce, while meat uses 5,000 to 20,000 liters of water per kg of produce. So, and and one more point is, studies performed by Harvard and many other medical schools shows that non-vegetarian diet can lead to non-vegetarian diet and specifically consumption of meat lead to the disease like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, etc. So, like this is evident, which is evident that non-vegetarian diet is not at all an option for sustainability. So moving forward to vegetarian sources of diet, there are various things to look upon. We can start it off by focusing on consumption part. Okay, so looking at very broader sense, it can be classified that there are mainly two types of foods we consume in a daily life. One is fast food and another is freshly cooked home food. So firstly talk about fast food. So consumption of fast foods, as we all know, that is not very healthy and it increases the issues like blood pressure, high cholesterol level, acid reflux, etc. And after consumption and during the digestion of the fast food, our body temperature rises. This may this you all may have experienced that after eating vada pav, pizza, and burger and all, we feel quite hot and lazy and slouchy. So as a result, we tend to use the air conditioners. By using air conditioner, which lead to more uses of energy, and as we are using air condition, so it will lead to emissions of greenhouse gases. So now, due to rise of food, and one another thing is like we tend to order foods at our home. So uh, due to rise in food delivery, so the startups like Swiggy and Zomato, people tend to order foods. So as we know that food get delivered in the plastic containers. So like this acts as two swords. One, it acts as poison as it is very unhealthy to consume that food, and second, it increases the plastic waste, which is not biodegradable waste. So which lastly end up in our landfills. Then this conclude that consuming freshly prepared home-based diet can able to mitigate all the problems that are stated above. Then comes the more advanced approaches. So more advanced approaches is to include millets in our diet, which are considered as complete ball of nutrition rather than just paddy and wheat. And our government has also launched missions to promote the millet-based diets in our daily lifestyle, which can improve the lifestyle of the person. As this also serves as a range of environmental issues, as it promotes crop rotation, and they are more water efficient. Lastly, they increases the income of the farmers. As farmers, and as we know that the Indian economy is very much based upon the farmers, and development of the farmer will lead to development of our nation. Last but not the least is the food wastage. Uh, it has been observed that the 50 kg per person of food gets waste annually, and as per the UNEP food waste index, it is something we also have experienced while living in our hostels. So as per the number stated by my hostel, it is like around 250 kg of food wastage per day in a hostel of around 800 to 900 students, so which is a very large number. So and if so by stating all this, I can able to conclude that if we start eating mindfully and consume only the optimum amount, which we can able to optimum amount, we can able to save food, feed poor, save energy, save CO2 emissions, save our planet Earth, and lastly, we can save our people also from the impact of the climate by reducing the impact. So thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Chetan. Now we will move to Haripriya. Haripriya? Haripriya, can you unmute and speak?
Sir, Haripriya is facing a little bit of network issue.
Okay, I see some of you raising your hand, Pawan and Sahid. See, I am following some random selection. I cannot accept your this one. Okay, please cooperate.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah,
This is
Haripriya.
Haripriya. Am I audible, sir? Sir, am I audible?
Who are you?
Sir, this is Haripriya.
Yeah, Haripriya, please start.
No water, no life. No blue, no green. A very good morning to everyone present here. Today, I'm here to talk about coral reefs, as to why they're important, how are human activities affecting the existence of coral reefs, and what we as individuals and as a community can do to protect and restore the coral reefs. Coral reefs are also known as the rainforests of the ocean system, and they form a very vital part of the marine ecosystem because though they occupy only 0.5% of the ocean cover, they harbor and shelter around 25% of the marine species. First, let me talk about how and why coral reefs are important. I'll elaborate on the ecosystem services that they provide. The first kind being regulatory services. The coral reefs offer shoreline protection and quiet habitats for the mangrove forests and for seagrasses by reducing or dissipating the ocean wave energy by 97% and providing a breakwater effect. Because of this, the shores are protected from erosion and quiet waters and habitats are offered for the growth of mangroves and seagrasses. A study in an archipelago in Brazil has stated that around 50.5% of the island's shorelines are protected by the raging effect of the waves in the presence of coral reefs, and around 46.8% of these shorelines are more vulnerable to erosion in the absence of coral reefs. About provisionary ecosystem services, these coral reefs are very important for the survival of local coastal communities, and around 500 million people worldwide are dependent on the coral reefs for their occupation. When it comes to supportive services, coral reefs play a major role in carbon sequestration, and they act as habitat for thousands of invertebrate species. About carbon sequestration, a study has reported that coral reefs are capable of sequestering or capturing around 70 to 90 megatons of carbon every year in the form of calcium carbonate in their skeleton. Also, they participate in carbon sequestration indirectly by providing shelter to a variety of species of photosynthesizing plants, and thereby they play a role in carbon sequestration. They also provide shelter to various kinds of species. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia houses around 4,000 species of molluscans, 400 coral species, and 1,500 species of fishes, contributing to biodiversity in the marine ecosystem. Let me talk about the threats caused by human activities for the existence and survival of coral reefs. The first one being climate change, and which directly leads to ocean increased carbon footprint, which directly leads to ocean acidification. With the increase of carbon dioxide emission in the atmosphere, the ocean water is absorbing more and more carbon dioxide. The increased levels of dissolved carbon dioxide is reducing the pH and increasing the acidity of the water, which reduces the calcifying effect of the coral organisms and macroalgae to build the coral reefs, and it is also adding to increased coral reef dissolution. So these coral organisms are not able to build new reefs, and it is affecting the already existing ones. And now about coral bleaching. Due to increase in temperature, of water pollutants, and degradation of the water quality, the coral organisms are subject to bleaching because the protective outer covering of the skeleton of the coral reefs, which are some kind of an algae called zooxanthellae, are being these algae are being damaged by the water pollutants and increased temperature. So they're forced to be expelled from the skeleton, and exposing the bare skeleton to starvation and increased vulnerability to diseases. A study by the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network has reported that we have lost around 14% of the global coral reef because of coral bleaching in a span of 9 years between 2009 and 2018. Also, when there is increased concentration of nutrients in the ocean water, it leads to rich growth of phytoplankton, which act as food for larvae of invasive species, which in turn erode or eat away the coral reefs. And then we have the plastic pollution, which is in turn affecting not only the natural biodiversity in the region, but also having a detrimental impact on the fragile coral reefs. We also have these particular toxic chemicals which are used to make sunscreens, like methyl paraben and ozobenzone, which have a direct impact when it comes to eroding and bleaching away these coral reefs. So because of human activities and human recklessness, these fragile reefs, which are literally like rain forests of the ocean system, are being they're dying. What can we do as individuals to help restore them? We need to be more energy efficient, reduce carbon footprint, and go for more eco-friendly alternatives other than plastic. We need to be more mindful about what is being ultimately reached in the ocean. We have to combat water pollution by reducing the use of chemical fertilizers and using more organic fertilizers. And we shouldn't use sunscreens and products like that, which are ultimately reaching the ocean through our rivers and streams and harming the natural biodiversity over there and these reefs. We have to we could use rain barrels and make use of rain gardens and catchments to utilize the rainwater instead of letting them drain off into the storm drains, which ultimately contributes to storm water pollution that also has a very negative impact on the coral reefs. And we have to spread awareness to local communities about why it is important to save our coral reefs and how it's not only vital for the planet, for the ocean, but also for us. And by doing so, we could all put in efforts to save these ecosystems. I'd like to elaborate on an idea which is being implemented by a French non-profit-based organization called Coral Gardeners, in which they use a metal surface nurseries to artificially grow the coral reefs in the ocean system, and to help the damaged coral reefs recover and heal. Though this is a good idea, it has its own negative effects, and it is not as good as the natural way of building coral reefs, because those planted corals would not have gone through the intense natural selection, and they are not as biodiverse as the natural ones. So though it's a good effort from our side, it cannot compete with nature's way of building these reefs, and we need to aim at the root cause of this problem, which is water pollution and increased carbon footprint. In a nutshell, I would like to conclude by saying that we all must be more responsible and sensitive towards our environment and do all that we can to help restore our planet's health. Thank you.
Thank you, Haripriya. Please mute the mic. So now let's move on to Suchetan. Suchetan.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, am I audible?
You are audible. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. The bright and happy future is only dependent if we pledge to conserve the energy in all the aspects. As Tom Allen suggests that energy conservation is the foundation for energy independence. Hello, everyone. Very good morning to one and all. I am Suchetan BS from Mysore, Karnataka. I would like to use this opportunity to express my views in the favor of energy conservation. The term energy itself defines it as the capacity to do work in all the aspects. Energy can be classified into different types like electrical energy, thermal energy, and heat energy, etc. As per the conservation of energy, which states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form of energy to other form of energy. Whatever energy we are using is nothing but the energy which is in the transformed way. Coming on to the question, what is the necessary for energy conservation? So, since I am speaking in the favor of energy conservation, I would like to answer this question with a single quote that energy what we are enjoying today is not from the past, but we are stealing it from the future. So if we need our future to be happy, if we need our future to be enjoying the same energy what we are enjoying today, we need to conserve the energy which we are using today. Energy conservation is nothing but using the energy efficiently and cutting down the machines which use a lot of energy. At the end, energy conservation leads to the sustainability of energy. And coming on to the different projects and missions, as we are speaking, we are under the umbrella of LiFE, which also suggests about the energy conservation. And also there is a mission called National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, which is under 8 missions of the National Action Plan of Energy Climate Change. This NMEEE aims to strengthen the market of energy through enhanced and emulgative researches. And coming on to the renewable energy resources, the energy conservation is nothing but increasing our dependency on renewable energy resources and decreasing our dependency on non-renewable energy resources. Coming on to the initiatives to reduce the zero carbon and energy efficiency, we need to make new initiatives. Not the government initiatives are not enough. Like nowadays, electrical vehicles are primarily used, which is a very good example to reduce our dependence on non-renewable energy resources. Coming on to the different projects like Shunya project, which is the project for self-sustaining rooftop houses. And if we see this Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru, they have adopted the rooftop solar panels. So almost 80 to 90% of the electricity of the stadium is powered by the solar energy power plant. So it is the way of depending upon the renewable energy resources. Though they have several drawbacks, I'm not speaking on that. I'm interested in the favor of energy management. And coming on to the projects and the future of the energy resources, the government of India has been formulating several issues to promote the renewable energy resources. If we take the data from 2000 to 2018, almost 700 million people received their access to the electricity. And the government of India also taken the steps to shift from biomass fuel in cooking to the clean energy like the LPGs and the solar energy panels. Biomass is considered as one of the major products for indoor pollutions. And coming on to the construction point of view, there is a project called Energy Conservation Building Code. So according to these buildings, India ranks third place with 146 buildings having the LEED certification. And these figures shows that energy efficiency is in a right way. And coming on to the different projects like the green building projects and all, this is an example for the energy efficiency. Coming on to the future of renewable energy resources, because the energy conservation is not a one-day process. It is for a year-long stretch. So the future of energy conservation is that during the COP26 meeting, India has made some commitments like reducing the carbon efficiency by 2030 by 1 billion tons and reducing the economy's efficiency by 45% by the year 2030. And we know that the energy which we are using today, through the internet or electrical energy, we are familiar with the use of energy, that the energy used to cook food is by burning the coal and wood. So if we stop and think that if there is no electricity and sun or light, we could not speak, we could not be in a brighter world, we would be in a darker world. So this makes the importance of energy conservation. And coming to the final stage, that climate change is a global concern and energy conservation is a social responsibility, because today's savings are tomorrow's benefits. So by saying this, I would thank all and thank you. This is from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next presentation by Kavya. Kavya? Kavya, you are not audible. Can you unmute and speak? Your
Sir,
mic
now,
is muted.
am I audible?
Yes, yes. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Myself, I'm Kavya. Now, I'm discussing about the climatical changes of food. So, LiFE, which means Lifestyle for Environment, launched by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, which is used to tackle the challenges of environment degradation and climatical changes. So, let us discuss about the food, which impact on climatical changes. We all know food which gives nutrition and provide energy. It needs to be grown, processed, transported, distributed, prepared, consumed, and sometimes disposed of. Each of these steps creates greenhouse gases that traps the sun heat and contribute to climatical changes. Food can be either be healthy and unhealthy. It keeps us various sphere of life, and unhealthy food which impact on physical and mental health also. Therefore, which also gives diseases, and therefore lack of nutrition will be there. Some vitamins, carbohydrates, lipids plays a very important role. Therefore, apart from this, I can just say that some genetically modified organisms and crops are playing a vital role nowadays. Therefore, where plants genome can be engineered by physical methods or by acrobacterium. Uses of genetically modified plants are many. Some of them are which also increases the nutritional value of food. Like I can give the example of golden rice. Golden rice, which has vitamin A enriched rice, where genetically modified organisms is an animal or plant or microbe whose DNA has been altered using genetically engineered technique. The first genetically modified plant in India is BT cotton. So, as we all hear that BT cotton, BT corn, and BT plant also, it has been developed by Maharashtra Hybrid Seed Company in collaboration with American company. The first BT cotton in India has been set up by Maharashtra itself. And coming to the advantages and disadvantages of genetically modified organisms, the first advantages of genetically modified organisms, where genetically modified crops produce desirable phenotypic traits in crop plants. These crops can also help in preventing expression of existing native gene. Some of the disadvantages also there. While few are advantages and many can be the disadvantages of this, it caused the serious health damage, where environment is going to change by these genetically modified organisms. In olden days there were natural foods, but now there are genetically modified and modified food we are eating. From that, therefore BT cotton is the only modified crop approved in India in 2002. Others are banned in India. As technology improving, health of human leads to poor condition by modifying the food too. Now we are not consuming healthy and natural food. As we consider rice, which is rich in carbohydrates, but poor in iron content. Why? Because polished rice are more common nowadays. The polished rice contain 50% of which we consume polished rice. We contains 50% of anemia in women and 65% of prevalence in children under the 5. Where once rice is polished, it loses its iron content. Where rice is rich in carbohydrates, as I said, iron content is also the more important for rice. It also loses the iron content, leads to loss of minerals and vitamin B, which is rich in thiamine. Also, golden rice is developed for the people of night blindness in developing countries, as they can't see the light or any substances in night. So India has been improved the golden rice. Before using that golden rice or polished rice, we can use the brown rice, which has not been polished. Brown rice is not polished rice, as I said, rich in nutrients. As eat the and I can say some of the slogan where eat the food as medicine, otherwise you should need to eat the medicine as your food. So eat healthy, stay healthy. And some of the restaurants where polished rice and some of the BD or thank you.
Okay, Kavya. So let's move on to Harsha Yadav. Harsh,
Sir, am I audible?
yes, you are
Sir, am I
audible.
audible? Okay, sir.
Yes, you are audible.
So, okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by quoting a famous British environmental activist, George Monbiot. Progress is measured by the speed which we destroy the conditions to sustain life. So, once again, good morning, all. Today, I, Harsh, a student of data science and a resident of Noida, Uttar Pradesh, would like to speak to you on the topic of sustainable mobility. So, what is sustainable mobility? It is a concept for transforming transport from an ecological perspective. The aim is to reduce fuel consumption and to reduce carbon emissions, in addition to providing social and economical benefits to all. So, why do we need sustainable mobility? The transport sector daily affects the lives of billions of people, their health, environment, and quality of life, both socially and economically. So, although there's no distinct global sustainable development goal on transport specifically, yet it plays a critical role in realizing the sustainable development goals that we have set. For example, transport is a primary consumer of fossil fuel energy. So it is critical to achievement of SDG 7, which talks about equitable use and affordable availability of energy, clean energy that is. It is indispensable to achieving the SDG 9, which talks about building resilient infrastructure, and SDG 11, which is concerned with sustainable cities and communities. Our focus of the economic evaluation of transport projects needs to be on the integrating of safety, green characteristics, and inclusivity instead of just time reduction. Moving on, I would like to state some facts which are relevant today. So, India recorded over 1.5 lakh deaths due to car accidents in 2021 alone. And nearly 90% of these accidents were linked to rash driving, overspeeding, and overtaking. Then, transport sector also has much ill effects on noise pollution, due to which it increases stress in our daily lives. It is also a major contributor towards air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Now, I would like to suggest some actions that we can inculcate in our daily lives in order to achieve a better sustainable mobility future. Number one would be spreading awareness. It is the most important thing and the first thing that needs to be done. We can use the increase, we can increase the use of public transportation in our daily lives and avoiding private vehicles whenever possible. Switching off engines at red lights helps a lot. It is contrary to the myth that it takes more amount of fuel to restart it. It was true for older vehicles, but today vehicles have become much more efficient. So even switching off the engine at the red light for even 10 seconds would help reduce fuel consumption significantly. Walking or cycling for short commutes can also help. Then carpooling and preferring CNG or electric vehicles and maybe even hydrogen vehicles in the near coming future over our conventional fossil fuel petrol diesel vehicles. Then periodical tire and pollution checks and proper servicing of our cars can help us sustain our future. Then driving safely and honking only if necessary can also help us reduce number of accidents and noise pollution as well. So if we follow these steps daily and properly, we can successfully uh, create a change in demand, which is the phase one of life, which would in turn support us in changing in supply, which is the phase two of life, and which would finally lead to a change in policy, which is the phase three in life. Thank you. That is all from my side.
Thank you. Harsh, let us move on to Pawan. Pawan,
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
you are audible.
Yes, sir. Thank you for creating a such opportunity. I'm Pavan. I'm from Yorajas College, Mysore University. Uh, I would like to share my opinion on energy conservation by quoting this Sanskrit shloka that is Madhuvata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhava Madhvirna Santoshari. It just means environment provides blissful to people lead a life perfectly. River bliss us with sacred water and provide health, morning and vegetation. Sun helping us to lead happy and peaceful life. Our cow provide us milk. This what says that the energy conservation is incredibly important for several reasons. Along with reducing our reliance on non-renewable energy resources, it also helps save you money on earth costs, including elect and utility bills and other energy bills. Considering conserving energy also cut down on expanding development where natural resource extraction impact on natural areas. If we conserve energy and use more efficiently, we directly reduces the amount of energy gases greenhouse gases emission entering the Earth's atmosphere. Energy conserving also benefits wildlife and nature by lessening the demand of new power plants. This even true with carbon-free and renewable energy resources. For instance, I would like to give some examples that is hydroelectric dam cause aquatic wind farm potential damage birds and nuclear waste can cause devastating harms. The energy conserving is emits the leak into the ecosystem. And other reasons to embrace energy conservation, including its role in promoting general cardiovascular, lung, and brain health, as it reduces the amount of pollutants in the environment that stem from using fossil fuels. Becoming less reliant on finite resource also moves us towards large-scale energy independence. The more conserved energy, the more energy is independence. The entire nation can become. Next, conserve energy is also can give potential rebates or tax credits for adopting better and energy management practices given the finite nature of energy resources. Even small forms of conservation can have a positive impact. And certain measures must be followed by us as far as possible to conserve energy. Electricity can be saved by using uh, times in the water tanks to prevent the wastage of water, and energy can be saved by replacing 100 watts incandescent bulbs with CFL LED bulbs. And also, I conclude with this quotes by Mahatma Gandhi ji, who is the father of nation. He told that Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. Thank you. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Pawan. Let's move on to the next presentation by Tulika. Tulika Mandal.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Today in Youth Parliament discussion on LiFE, I would like to talk about how the forest plays an crucial role in maintaining the balance of our ecosystem by regulating the climate, preserving the biodiversity, and providing a home for millions of plant and animal species. But today, the forest faces many threats like deforestation, illegal logging, and introduction of monoculture and exotic species. So, what is monoculture actually? Monoculture is the practice of growing a single species of plant in an area to increase the efficiency and yields of crops or that plant. So, by planting only one species, it eliminates the diversity of the ecosystem, making it more vulnerable. The loss of biodiversity can lead to the extinction of certain species and disruption in the food chain. So, for example, we can say in Karnataka, the cultivation of single species plantation is quite common, which covers approximately 5 million hectares, which is about 18% of the state's geographical area. And the cultivation of eucalyptus and acacia trees has been encouraged in the dry regions of the state for commercial purposes such as production of pulpwood, which is used for and also the biodiversity, especially the eucalyptus and acacia in particular, are known to be water intensive, which can lead to depletion of the groundwater of that particular area and where the water is already scarce. So they also lack the diversity of native forest and they do not provide the same range of ecosystem services. On the other hand, planting the endemic species has many benefits for forest conservation. So what is endemic species? Endemic species are the plants and animal species which are native to that particular region, which are not found in other places of the world. So these species can help in restoration and balance the ecosystem and preserve the biodiversity. These species are well adapted to their environment and are often more resilient to changing the climate conditions. They also provide habitat and food for other native species, which can help to maintain the ecological balance. Furthermore, the endemic species have cultural and historical significance, and these are an important part of our natural heritage. A study published in the Journal of Biodiversity Conservation shows that the restored forest of native species has higher species richness and diversity compared to degraded forest. And if we see other literatures also of IUCN, which highlights that the endemic species are crucial for maintaining the ecosystem services, which includes the soil fertility, water quality, carbon sequestration, and play an important role in supporting the local livelihoods. So in the Western Ghats section of Karnataka, several efforts has been made to restore the degraded forest by planting the native species such as teak, rosewood, bamboo, and these kind of species which are native to that area. And this has improved the soil quality, water availability, and biodiversity, and as well as it has become the source of an income for the local communities. So one of the most important factor is to raise the awareness in the uh, awareness to conserve the forest and the maintain and to understand the threats that they face. Governments and organizations can also implement the policies that protect the forest and limit the introduction of monoculture and exotic species. And individuals can also take the action by supporting the sustainable forestry practices, and they can choose the products made from sustainable materials. So by restoring the degraded forest and planting the endemic species, we can help to preserve our natural heritage and maintain the ecological balance of our ecosystems. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulika. So let's move to Pranav Kumar. Pranav?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible.
Yeah. Energy is the most precious gift. From it flow, life flows smoothly. A cordial good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Pranav Kumar Gehadwal, a student at University of Delhi. Today, I'm going to speak about energy resource management. What is energy resource management? Difference between conservation of energy and management. What are its benefits and adoptable techniques by the society? And as a part of debate, I'm just going to oppose Suchanathan, who is speaking about the conservation of energy. That in today's world, the conservation of energy is not needed. We need the energy management. Now, let's start with the difference between energy conservation and energy management. Energy conservation is the act of preserving, guarding, or protecting the energy wisely by eliminating its use. This creates a barrier in completion of large number of works, which is not good for a developing country like India. That's why we want energy management, which describes efficient use of energy without eliminating different works of energy consumption. It further describes the energy can be used. The energy can be used in a way that it is being protected and saved during the usage, which promotes sustainable development and a best option for a developing country like India. Energy management is the proactive and systematic monitoring, control, and optimization of a country's energy consumption to conserve, use, and decrease energy costs. Now, let us talk about the energy management and the environmental impacts. So, as we know, the energy management, we all know the major source of energy are carbon-intensive power plants and the energy generators from which we get the main energy. Do we think that using these carbon-intensive power plants is a sustainability? The clear answer is no. Hence, we have to just shift our consumption less and use the energy efficiently and thus rely less on carbon intensive power plants, which in turn benefits the environment. It will also lead in the reduction of individual carbon footprint. It leads to a sustainable development as by reducing energy efficiency through management. The conserved or saved energy can be used by other person or individuals, and it reflects the energy can be used by which the energy which is used by a small sector population now used by a large sector population, hence shifting the carbon footprint of a small population to a large population and reduce per capita carbon footprint of the country or of the world also. It's a way of a sustainable development. The energy management is also described in various terms and by the various researchers in various research papers. For example, Suhan Zhao from University of Birmingham in his research paper entitled Design and Development of Energy Management Systems describes about the energy management system adopted by Birmingham and how it saved a lot of energy from other works, which leads to sustainable development. It further also explains about how efficient is the energy management than that of energy conservation, which leads to the just shut down your some works, which leads the lower down some sustainable development and other developments. That's why we have to shift towards the energy management. Wambo Shai from University of California, under her research paper entitled Energy Management in Microgrids, describes about the energy management practice by local people in reducing energy efficiency, which benefited a large number of population of California. Now, let us discuss about the adaptable techniques of energy management by the society. In the last previous sections taken by every person, everyone has talked about the governmental concerns, governmental projects are taken. But as we know, Mission Life directly speaks about the citizen participation, the local level participation in the sustainable development towards the lifestyle for environment. So in this debate, I'm just going to speak about the basic energy techniques that are used by the common people. Some of them are discussed as use of LED bulbs, tube lights, public transport wherever possible, use of elevators, use of stairs instead of elevator, vehicle engines turned off during traffic lights, crossings, and many more. At the end of my presentation and debate, I just wanted to end up with a question. What you want to add in the conservation of energy and management of energy basically from your side, so that it is not only conserved, it is managed in a way that it does not eliminate your work and proves a sustainable development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pranav. Let us move to Sahil.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So everyone needs water. Everyone needs clean water. Everyone wants the benefit of water, but everyone don't want to do something with water. So here I am, Sahib, from University of Delhi. My topic is water management. Jal hai to kal hai. So water is very important for the survival of living being. Hence, we all know the availability of water is going less day by day. But everyone around us always focuses on what's the problem? What is the problem? No one focuses on what's the solution, what will be the next solution so that we can manage our resources by efficient and sustainable uses of them. According to World Bank, water scarcity affect more than 40% of the global population. So here I am with some solutions for the water management. Number one is aware of the people and society. So basically, the number one things is the people. If people will be aware, if people know what we have to do, how we have to manage the resources, I am motivated. I want to do something for the society. Then our plans, our management can be successful. So number one point I clear, aware of the people and society. The second point I want to mention is the use of efficient water saving technologies like micro irrigation, farm ponds, zero tillage, direct seeded rice. Because these type of things like micro irrigation includes drip irrigation, etc. So that it can enhance the productivity in less water. Farm pond is like that. If water in the outside of your field, and you can there fish rearing, and you can aquatic organism there, and it can increase the productivity of your agriculture and also increase your income. Now I want to shift on meter, measure, manage. It's I can say a new term. What is meter, measure, and manage? We should installation of water meters in our homes, in our residence, in our office work where we are staying, so that we can measure how much water we consume and manage how much I have to consume in the next day. Now I want to continue with pre-soak heavy pots and pans. If we go to village, people use of like crockery of which is prepared by mud, sand. It's like so we have to put that pots in water for some days so that it can be take less water in the future preparation of cooking food. Now I will go to smart irrigation. Smart irrigation is like that we have to do irrigation, but which includes how to manage the water very smartly. That is called smart irrigation. And some points are also there, which is very common. Like we all know, sewage water treatment, grey water management, drip irrigation, artificial water recharge, refuse water, etc. So in the era of this 21st century, we must take help of modern technologies to help the voter by educating and motivating people. But we should know at the first that we are the first. We have to start from ourselves. After that, we are able to change this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahil. So now we will move to Ashpreet Kaur. Ms. Kaur.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Ashpreet, and today I will be speaking against incinerators. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, the total quantity of solid waste generated in India in 2020-2021 annual report was around 16 crore kg per day. This amount of waste will require around 22 acres of land to fit. That is a lot of land and resources going to waste, literally. While we know climate crisis is a big issue, if we can divert all this waste from landfills, we will be reducing the greenhouse gas emission from landfills, which is a contributing factor to the climate change. So, what is our government doing to reduce waste? In one of the reports of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, they focused on the idea of garbage free India, and they talk about improving recycling, converting landfills to sanitary landfills, and converting waste to energy. These are all good ideas, but are they enough? India has a good recycling base, better than developed countries like the US. Our informal sector is very efficient in extracting material that can be recyclable. Hence, recycling is not the issue. Excessive consumption of material and littering is the issue. Next is the idea of engineering the landfills. It is great as it will protect water and air pollution through emissions from landfills, but that does not address the issue of everyday increasing amount of waste. And then the waste to wealth through incinerators. This is a highly controversial topic. Countries like the US and European Union, they're actually banning incinerators due to harmful cancerous emissions in the air emitted by these incinerators and issues of environmental justice arising with it because these incinerators are actually set up in low income areas. Therefore, I'm proposing that we should learn from the mistakes of the developed countries to progress towards sustainable development. Recently, the idea of zero waste has become very popular. Even United Nations recognized it as an important aspect of reaching circular economy and sustainable development, and we celebrate March 30th as International Day of Zero Waste now. A simple definition of zero waste is diverting 90% of the waste from landfills and incinerators. Internationally, this topic is gaining great traction and we should be focusing on the same ideas. So, how can India reach zero waste? Based on what other countries are doing around the world, the following ideas can be effective in reaching the Global Sustainable Development Goal of reducing waste by 2030, covered under the Sustainable Development Goal 12, which is sustainable consumption and production. So, ideas like mandatory composting and recycling collection, or provision of composting for residential and commercial buildings to reduce the amount of waste from these buildings, ban on the incineration due to air pollution and harmful human health risks, promoting the education and awareness on reducing waste, which is actually a proactive approach to reduce waste before it is generated, rather than a reactive approach such as recycling. Completely phasing out single use plastic, which India is already doing, and it is a great initiative in the right direction. Improving collection and segregation of waste, especially in public buildings such as colleges or hospitals, because these institutions generate large amount of waste every day. Hiring full-time employees, focusing on promoting zero waste activities so that there is someone accountable for such efforts in each institution and city. Lastly, leading from the ground, India has great rules on solid waste and other waste management, but the government authorities need to be part of the movement by coming at ground and monitoring the implementation of these programs. At the end, we need to be proactive with our ideas if we want to see India being a leader of such issues. Thank you for listening to me today. I conclude my speech here.
Thank you, Ms. Kaur. Now let's move on to Prasanna. Prasanna PM.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
You are audible. Please continue.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಧ್ವನಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂತ ಭಾವನೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನಗೆ ಈಗ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರುವಂತ ಈ ಅವಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಧನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾನದಂಡ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇಂಧನವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾನದಂಡವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇಂಧನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ದೇಶ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಗತಿಯನ್ನ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ರ ಆಧಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ದೇಶದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನ ಅಳೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಜನಜನಿತವಾಗಿರುವಂತ ವಿಷಯ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತವನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತ ಇಂಧನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದಿನ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಗಳನ್ನ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅದರ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರದ್ದು ಏನು ಪರಿಣಾಮವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಇಂಗಾಲದ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಹೊರಸೂಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಭಾರತದ ಈ ಮುಂದಿನ ಗುರಿ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ 2070 ಹೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಾರತ ತಾನು ಜೀರೋ ಇಂಗಾಲದ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೊರಸೂಸುವಂತಹ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರವಾಗಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಧನದ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಳಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಧನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ 2 ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಇಂಧನಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಒಂದು ನವೀಕರಿಸಬಹುದಾದಂಥದ್ದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನವೀಕರಿಸಲಾಗದಂಥದ್ದು. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ನವೀಕರಿಸಲಾಗದಂತಹ ಇಂಧನಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯ ಗುರಿಗಳನ್ನು ತಲುಪಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಸಹಕರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎನ್ನುವ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನವೀಕರಿಸಬಹುದಾದಂತಹ ಇಂಧನದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೌರಶಕ್ತಿ, ಪವನ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಬಯೋಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂತಾದಂತಹ ರಿನ್ಯೂವಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಾಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಧನೆ ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಭಾರತ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಿಂದ ತನ್ನ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ 5ನೇ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಸೇರಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪವನ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಯೋಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸಿ ಭಾರತ ಇವತ್ತು 3ನೇ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ರಿನ್ಯೂವಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಿಂದ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸುವಂತ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರವಾಗಿ ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಅತಿ ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ವರ್ಜಯೇತ್ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಅತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಅತಿಯಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡದೆ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ದುಷ್ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳನ್ನ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಎದುರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವೀಗ ಒಮ್ಮೆಲೆ ರಿನ್ಯೂವಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವಾಹನಗಳನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಬಳಸುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಸೌರಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ರೆಡೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಮನಗಳು ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದರ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ವಿಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕೃತವಾಗಿ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನ ತರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು ಸಹಿತ ನಡೀತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವಿವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾರ್ವತ್ರಿಕ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯನ್ನ ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾವಿವತ್ತು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಬುದ್ಧ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾವು ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದರ ಕೂಡ ಗಮನವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆ. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವು ಯಾವುದೂ ಕೂಡ ರಿನ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರವಾದಂತ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಕಡೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮಲೆನಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ನಾವು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಘಟ್ಟ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ತಾನು ಯಾವ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಕೂಡ ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಗಾಲದ ನಾವು ಈ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಪ್ಯಾನೆಲ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಅದರ ಆಯುಸ್ಸಿರುವಂತದ್ದು 25 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ನಂತರ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದರ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳು ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, 3,100 ಮಂದಿರ ದೈವ ಸಾಸಿರವಿದ್ದರೆ, ಗಂಗೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ತುಂಗೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಗಿರಿ ಹಿಮಾಲಯವಿದ್ದರೆ, ವೇದವಿದ್ದರೆ, ಭೂಮಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಘನ ಪರಂಪರೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಏನು ಸಾರ್ಥಕ ಮನೆಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಿದ್ರಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದರೆ ಅಂತ. ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸಂಪತ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದರ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂತಹ ಅದರ ಸದೃಢವಾದಂತಹ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅರಿವಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದ ಯಾವುದರ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನವೂ ಕೂಡ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಯುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತ ನಾವು, ಯುವ ಭಾರತವಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಭಾರತವನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಉನ್ನತ ಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಭಾರತ ಇಂಗಾಲದ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊರಸೂಸುವಂತಹ ದೇಶವಾಗಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸುವಂತದ್ದು, ಅದರ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳು ಅದನ್ನು ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಸದೃಢವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯ ಈ ರಿನ್ಯೂವಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಬಳಸುವಂತದ್ದು. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತನ್ನ ಗುಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ ತಾನು ಜಾಗೃತನಾಗಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you, Prasanna. Now let's move on to the next presentation. Ananya.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Ananya TJ. I'm going to say few important topics points about water conservation. Water conservation, as you all know, it's about conserving water. In nearly 71% of the land surface is covered by water, and in that 97% is ocean water, that means salt water, and nearly 2.7% or 3% consists of fresh water. In that fresh water, we can divide it to different categories like drinking water and for irrigation and as groundwater. For drinking water, we use about 1.2% of drinking water. And to make it simple, conserving water is much more essential because water conservation is the need for our future, because according to Niti Aayog, they stated that 40% of the Indian population could have no access for the drinking water by 2030, by the year 2030. So I would like to say that we should conserve water. How can we conserve water? By looking into that, we don't need many big steps to conserve water. We can conserve water by adjusting our lifestyles, by switching to showers, like switching the time, take less time to showers. Irrigation, we all know that India is an agricultural land country in which more than 70% of the people depends on agriculture. I would like to say that irrigation, we can minimize the use of water by using drip irrigation, because it accounts for every drop of water, which it accounts to the growth of plant. And by
and other methods also we can use. And by using rainwater harvesting is nothing but collect the water which where it falls, like in your rooftop we can collect the water, because when heavy rain falls we can collect the water and save it, and we can use for irrigation of plants, washing clothes and dishes. And we can use soaps which are chemical free, and so that the water does not contain any chemicals in that. And by the consequences of water conservation, nearly 2 billion people worldwide drink water that has been contaminated with fecals, and nearly and 2000 kids under the age of 5 die every single day because of the water contamination. So I would like to say that conserve water, because it does not take big steps, because we should conserve water. So so we can have an life with water happy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ananya. Now let's move on to the Anusha.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible, Anusha. Please continue.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I have chosen topic of water conservation. As you all know that we cannot even live without our water. About 70% of the earth is made up of the water, and we know that 3% is for the food. That means it is 3% of the water is available, that is, it is a fresh water, and there is a need for the water conservation. There are many ways in which we can conserve the water. Basically, it takes place through two steps, that is through individual and as well as national level. Individually, we can think of like we can look at the leakages that is happening in the households, like maybe in the pipes that leaks, and there is also a fact that you can minimize the usage of water in your toilets. Like you can use the idea of just putting the food color, where if there is the water leaking there, then the food color indicates that. So through this also you can minimize or like reduce the water loss. And also by as we all know that we usually use water for irrigations, and drip irrigation is a kind of irrigation where there is no lot amount of water is wasted. And you can also use that during the watering of the plants and your gardens. We can use this idea of watering the plants and gardens in the alternative days, and watering this plants for a bit long time in a day and not watering the next day also helps in just conserving the water, and not letting the excess amount of water to waste. And we also know that now there is water drought resistant plants are available, and they can resist without the irrigation, and such plants can also be planted so that we can even contribute to the greenery of this environment, and we can also survive there. And basically we can check the leaks. We can there is about 70% of the water is being lost due to the leaks that is happening in every Indian households. The leaks may be in the kitchens, maybe in the water pipe connection that we have used, so we have to look into it. Basically we know that there is a river Ganges, where there is so many projects and programs have been developed so that we can conserve the water, and also we can reduce the water pollution. And coming to the water pollution that is being caused, and we can due to this also we must take a care of like conserving the water, because we cannot even imagine a life without a water. So water conservation is very much important. This industrial wastes are just like industrial wastes are directly given into the water bodies, and it is not only affecting the water, not only affecting the human who consume that water, also it is affecting the aquatic life. We are directly just not only affecting the human life, it is also affecting the aquatic lives, and there is no right that we can affect the other life. So we have to prevent this water. That means we have to basically take this like water treatment treating facilities. We have to adopt that. And coming to the sewage waters, and the sewage waters, this government of India must take the strategies and plans to minimize this sewage water. Like the sewage waters are directly given into the water bodies, and the people who consume that get diarrhea, typhoid, and many other kinds of waterborne diseases, and it is also affecting the human beings. In need of searching the water, we are in need of searching the water for the human health and benefits. We indirectly affecting our own lives. And there is also a thing that there is decrease in the water level, like water table level is usually constantly it is decreasing due to the increase in the salinity. That is because of the chemical fertilizers that are released into the water bodies, and it is a serious issue we have to take in care of. So water conservation is very much important. This water conservation can be also made like in the house, like by adopting this showers, that is water saving showers are available, which can which can conserve 5 to 10 gallons of water in a single bath. So it is very much important that we adopt to such kind of new kind of lifestyles, because in these lifestyles we are not able to like adjust into this environment. Basically, we need to conserve the water not only for this generation but also for the future generation. Already in other countries there are a lot of water problems they are facing, and it is necessary that we conserve the water and we take the primary initiative. So at the individual level we can save, we can conserve the water like this. And at the national level the government must implement plans and programs where people come together, people get into the conscious that water conservation is not only necessary, it is a part of our responsibility. Because we are not only affecting this our lives, we are also responsible for the any effect or causes that is caused to the other lives also. So we are being responsible for everything. So we take care of conserving the water at the national level, and many strict policies must be given and must and government of India must take care of creating such policies where people seriously take this issue, so that this water conservation can be made. And why I, and by to the conclusion, I tell that this water conservation is very much necessary, because water conservation is not only our thing, our responsibility, it is also for the responsibility of the whole world. So thank you. Before it drip, think before it drip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anusha. Now let us listen to Bhuvan. Bhuvan Chandra.
I am audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So global warming is a major problem for all of us. So a pleasant namaste to all. I want to talk about carbon sequestration because it is essential to mitigate the impacts of global warming. So carbon sequestration is basically, it is a process of capturing and storing the carbon dioxide from atmosphere. So there are two types of methods to sequester carbon. One is artificial and one is natural. So in natural processes, photosynthesis is the best part. When plants do photosynthesis, they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store them in the biomass, then soil and oceans, waters. So at first, I want to say about, and in also artificial processes, we can capture carbon dioxide from industrial processes. So Western Ghats, I want to talk about basically was Western Ghats, forest of Western Ghats. They are the major sinks of the carbon sequestration. So Western Ghats helps in regulate the climate, temperature, water cycle, and they also preserves the impacts of disaster. So In many endemic species, endemic especially the species which is found in a particular geographic region and nowhere else. So many endemic species found in the Western Ghats, like Malabar grey hornbill. It is found in evergreen forest of Western Ghats, and Malabar dragon. It is also found in forest of evergreen forest of Western Ghats. So forest of the Western Ghats are the major sinks of carbon also. So we have to preserve them. According to a case study, forest of the Western Ghats in Tamil Nadu have been subjected to a significant pressure from human actions. So Tamil Nadu Forest Departments has established several protected areas in the Western Ghats. So we have to preserve them, not only for the carbon sequestration, also they are the beauty of our India Western Ghats. So we have to preserve them, and we so Western Ghats for the future generation, they can see so for future generations we have to think about and preserve them. Carbon sequestration is very important. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Bhuvan. Now let's move on to Rajendra Singh Rana. Rana?
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
So, thank you, sir. So, good afternoon to you all. So, today my topic is about urban heat islands and what are the cause, effect, and how can we mitigate the effect. So, what is an urban heat island? When any particular urban area that is significantly warmer than its surrounding rural areas, it is called urban heat island effect. So, as you can see, many city center get slightly warmer than its surrounding urban area, its surrounding rural areas. So, what are the main cause of urban heat islands? So, main cause of urban heat island is modification of land surfaces. The as you can see in urban areas, presence of heat absorbing material is much more than the surrounding rural areas, and lack of greenery is also a cause, which have some cooling effect. Greenery has some cooling effect which can't be found in urban areas. And third cause is concentration of human activities. Human activity as like industrialization and transportation and other things which enhances the urban heat island effect. So and these are the causes of urban heat island, and what are the effects of urban heat island. So when if you feel like when you go to a city center, then you can feel that it is more warm than surrounding rural areas, because there is no greenery and more impervious surfaces which doesn't allow to pass water through them. So without water cycle, cooling can't be happen. And second is more heat absorbing materials which absorb more sunlight at daytime. They absorb more heat and later emit them. So effect of urban heat island is that cities can be 4 to 6 degrees Celsius more hot than surrounding areas. People get dehydrated or suffer from heat exhaustion, and requires more energy to operate fans and air conditions in a warm space. So it leads to power outage and a serious danger to public health. So how can we mitigate it? We can prevent it from increasing the amount of greenery in any urban area, and heat reflective materials we can use for pavements and concretes and other things. And we can also improve the building designs and insulation to reduce energy consumption for coolings. So these we can be mitigated. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Rana. Let us move on to the next person, Paras Negi. Paras Negi. Paras?
He is coming, sir.
Yeah, Paras Negi, start.
Good afternoon to all. Am I audible, sir?
You are audible.
Today, in the youth parliament, this I am talking about nature conservation, and in that my topic is urbanization, and in that what is urbanization? That transformation of unoccupied or sparsely occupied into areas into densely occupied regions, and it is due to the increase in human population or the migration from rural areas to the urban areas, and this result in deforestation and habitat loss and the decrease in the range of species, as well as it's alter the microclimate of the particular region, and human activities in the urban areas are majorly impacting the environment of uh, that particular urban area, like use of fossil fuels and the industrial waste from the industry, and which is leading to the pollution which is directly and indirectly affecting the environment, and causes the habitat loss and the deforestation, and uh, we- and in that we are cutting the forest in a very huge number, and that vegetation, as a study from IISC has showed that in the particularly talking to a particularly to this Bangalore, they have stated that the forest cover, which was around 68% using the remote sensing data and incorporating the GIS, they have estimated the vegetation and the impervious surfaces. And in that study, they have indicated that in 1973, the vegetation cover was around 68%, which has come down to around 7.5% in 2016, and the buildup which has been in 1973 is around 8%. Now it has increased to 77% in 2016, and recently they have published one. Another report in that recent for 2022, they have assessed the impervious surface or the build-up area that is accounting to 85% of the total geographical area of the Bangalore BBMP area, and the vegetation cover has come down to 1%, and this is due to the rapidly urbanization and the major reforms in 1990s, the LPG reform, which is abbreviated to liberalization, privatization, and globalization. We have opened our market in 1990s for the industry to betterment of our economy, and that has led to the that has led to deforestation and decrease in the forest cover, and connecting to this how the vegetation is important to maintain the hydrology of a particular area, and I will talk about a similar study which is on the Saravati River Basin, which is which is published by IISC in current science that indicates that the Saravati river basin originates from Ambu Tirtha and meet the sea in Hunawar, and in that they have constructed Lenan Makki Dam in 1965, and that in that they have evacuated the local people from their area, and they have shifted it to the drier beds, and we can see from there that the area which have the forest cover more than 60% have the higher rainfall and higher abundant pollinator, which also increase to the crop yield of that particular western region, western part of the Saravati river basin, and in the eastern part of the Saravati river basin there is a dry belt which have where the local peoples were dropped, and from there we can see in that report they have mentioned that the drier belt has the lower crop yields and as 3 to 4% lower crop yield as compared to the densely forested area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paras. So I think everyone has completed. Is there anyone who has still had to do the presentation? Can raise the hand. Is there anyone who is yet to do the presentation? Okay, there is no one. So no response. So I request all the youngsters to log off. So the people who are evaluating, please be online for a while. So let us discuss, okay? Dr. Sara, Dr. Anande Subramanian, then Dr. Bharat Aital, Dr. Vinay, Asulaba, Sinsi, and Dr. Aruna will continue to be with us, while the other youngsters can log off. I'll be sending a mail selecting the 10 people after the discussion of the jury, so that tomorrow morning at 10:30 we will have the session, so that each one will do the debate for 15 minutes. You know, there will be on each theme we will have a 2-person. One will speak for and other one will speak against. So what I will do is I'll send a list of the individuals who are chosen for the next round. I'll also give for each group what is the theme. Then you can talk among yourself and then come to the conclusion whether you want to speak for or against. Okay, with this I am concluding the session. Now the jury will continue to be with me while Abhilash and other people can log off. Aparna Haridas, Suchetan, Pranav, you can log off. What happened? Aruna, Dr. Aruna has logged off sometime earlier. She's not there. Okay. Okay, you can switch on the video so that
Sir, Prasanna is around. Should he be there or?
Prasanna is not there.
No, he's online.
He's online, huh?
Yes.
Prasanna. Prasanna is not online, it is logged off.
Okay, but it shows that's the
You
reason
still
I
see. Okay, okay. I'll see that. Abhishek, you check whether Prasanna is still online. Okay, Abhishek is helping us in this one coordinating the thing, so he'll be with us. Okay. Okay, what we'll do is we'll start from the first presentation. You can tell me that whether all of you agree for selecting the person, and if you have any opinion, then you can tell us. Okay. Shall we start from the first presentation, Nisar Ahmad?
No, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the marks you have given for Nisar Ahmad? Vinay,
Sir,
what is the
how
marks you have given?
sir, how about sending you the marks so that it may be collated and finally done? That's easier than going by one by
First
one.
we will see. No, because we all have not done very well. So that's why I thought that it is better if we this, or you can do that also. I have no problem. But we will try
Right,
to
sir. That
understand
would
the
actually
thing.
give you.
Okay. What about Dr. Aruna?
So it was okay. That's what
You want to?
Yeah, it
I
was
feel.
okay, sir. Yeah, I've also made a pointers of each presentation. I need to again go through so that I can do the justice. Right
Okay.
now, I have not given a point, sir. I thought I'll take a little bit more time to understand and award the marks.
Yeah, because by 3 o'clock I have to announce the result. So I need the results by before that. Okay.
It should be done, sir.
Okay. So what about Vinay?
Marks are there, sir.
And Dr. Sara?
Marks have been allocated from my end for all these candidates.
Okay. So Dr. Sara?
Sara, madam,
You are not audible.
unmute
You are.
yourself. Unmute yourself, madam.
Sir,
Sara.
8 marks for I have given 8 marks for 3 candidates. So I feel I will
No.
I will send
Dr.
that
Sara,
marks
what
list
I
to you,
suggest
sir.
is you send the marks list. Yeah, send the marks list to me. I will consolidate and then I will select the 10 people, okay, for tomorrow's group discussion. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay, then if there are no further thing, we can log off. So I see Junior Bharat is also there in the room.
Oh, Yaro?
He is not visible.
No, back end Bharat has made it as this one.
Okay.
So we will send it to you in another half an hour to your mail, right, sir?
Okay, please do that so that I will, at 3 o'clock, I'll send a mail to everyone with a CC to all of you.
Sure, sir.
Okay, thank you all. That we will meet tomorrow. Whoever can meet tomorrow. But I'll send a meeting link to all of you. Okay? Sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Good day.
Sure. End meeting. Huh? This. There is